Let's take a look at what's going on in the world now. Mayhem in Kazakhstan, as President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev accepted the government's resignation on Wednesday after a fuel price increase in the oil-producing Central Asian country triggered massive protests where 8 people were killed and nearly 100 police officers injured. The protests began after the government lifted price controls on liquefied petroleum gas at the start of the year, despite many Kazakhs having converted their cars to run on LPG because of its low cost. Calling it an act by terrorists, President Tokayev said Almaty airport had been seized by protesters on Wednesday, while 5 airplanes were also hijacked. He warned that if the unrest continues, it would be met with a tough response. Currently, the entire country is under a state of emergency, with protesters reportedly torching a number of public buildings throughout the country. According to local media, the presidential residence in the capital has also been compromised and set on fire. The nation's police chief blames extremists and radicals for the deadly protests, with the National Guard and army units now having joined the police to secure the country. Devastating news out of Philadelphia, where at least 13 people were killed in an early morning fire on Wednesday after smoke detectors failed to go off. According to the city's fire department, among the dead were 7 children. Firefighters fought for about 50 minutes to control the blaze on the second floor of the 3-story row house, which is owned by the city's public house authority. While 8 people managed to escape the building through one of the 2 exits, fire officials say the death toll could rise. None of the 4 smoke detectors went off, as officials are now investigating the malfunctions. While the building was initially converted to house 2 families, 26 people lived in the building at the time of the fire. Spain will consider a pet's welfare when couples divorce or separate, in a legal shift that strengthens the case for couples obtaining shared custody of their animals. But for some, the biggest takeaway is how pets are to be perceived moving forward.
I think the most important thing is the modification of the law so that they are no longer considered things, but beings with feelings, and that their welfare must be considered by judges and magistrates in legal proceedings.
The decision on Wednesday also follows similar moves in France and Portugal, obligating judges to consider pets as sentient beings rather than objects owned by one or the other partner. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.